Hello everybody and welcome to MFL Total Access. I'm Terry Babelis. This is the mouth, the one and only. Before I let him introduce himself, I just wanted to say your discretion is advised. Whatever Kevin says today does not reflect the views of the MFL, of MFL Total Access, of myself, of Willpower, of Jonathan Evans, or of any of you. So now you know. What's up, Kevin?
Not much in you. I'm just here to fill in for Will. Hopefully I can do as good job as he does, if not better.
Yeah, you're supposed to do better.
I know John was here last week, and before
okay.
that was
Jaff. We'll see
and
what the
everyone did
back.
well, and whoever gets more views will be replacing Will next.
And it's a big milestone episode. Today is our 10th episode.
Oh, shit.
Sadly, Will couldn't have been here for it, so you got to step into his shoes and come up big.
So I need to screw up then.
So the regular season is over. Crazy games. People made the playoffs. People went home crying because they didn't make the playoffs. Now it's the real deal. Everyone's 0-0 going to the playoffs. We're going to go over every matchup coming to the playoffs. We'll recap a few of the important games that were last week. So let's get right into it. Starting with Division 1.
Yeah.
Henchmen were waiting, not playing a game for the last 2-3 weeks, sitting on the sidelines, fingers crossed, hoping that everything that needed to happen happened, and they finally made it. The Henchmen are going to the playoffs. Moretti is out.
Who saw that coming? Who really saw that coming?
With the roster Moretti had.
I'd be embarrassed if I was them.
Yeah, unfortunately, they were missing their great quarterback, Joey Taylor, the last 3 weeks. They went 1-2 without him. Wasn't enough to get them in. He was on vacation. He would have been back for the playoffs. And Centurions really didn't want to play Outlaws, I guess, because they could have tried new things in that game and lost the game and still made the playoffs in fourth. But they really wanted to avoid playing Outlaws in the first round, so they got the W. And they'll be playing the Ninja Turtles in the first round, and we get that Outlaws henchman third time's the charm, maybe.
Yeah, which really players on the Outlaws didn't want to happen. They wanted Moretti to win so that there wasn't a chance of henchmen making the playoffs.
Yes.
Plus, nobody wants to see Chris being happy. You know, really.
At the same time, if he loses in that round, he'll be not happy. So
yeah. Well, when we get to that game, I got some news on that.
So you want to recap a little bit of Centurions Moretti crime family? Did you get to see bits of that game?
I didn't actually get to see, but I know that it was a struggle, and at one point Centurions were up and they were making it look easy, and then they cooled off. And
obviously Danny Elwer is also a great quarterback who could right the ship for them and everything. He's also one of their top receivers, so taking him out as a receiver, putting him at quarterback leaves them with one less weapon. But this game was a toss-up for me, even without Joey Taylor there. I was sure that Moretti crime family, knowing that it was win and you're in, would have pulled through.
Yeah, I would have thought so too. And to me, like you were saying, Joey Taylor has his system of the way that he plays, and both Danny and his brother Brandon have played with Joey for years, and when they play quarterback, it's the same system.
Exactly.
So you would think that it wouldn't be a big deal, and this wasn't Danny's first time throwing in the league where he's going to say, oh, the field was smaller, because I know at the beginning of the season, Joey had that issue.
You need those adjustments, for sure. Throwing an MFL in that small field, outdoors, it's not the same as throwing indoors with a larger field in other leagues. So
no, it's really not.
Yeah. Like you said, Danny plays that same style of offense, so it was surprising that they couldn't pull through. Centurions made the less mistakes in this game, throwing only 2 interceptions. Danny threw 4, and that was it. The other game in D1, the Ninja Turtles destroyed the Outlaws, a depleted Outlaws team. We were a 6-man roster. Dave was throwing. Wanted to take it easy before the playoffs, so hopefully we'll meet them in the finals. So now to preview these semifinal games. We'll start off with the Centurions and Ninja Turtles. Centurions had played the Ninja Turtles twice during the season. They lost both games, scored 27-15 and 33-24. So both games were within 2 possessions.
Yes.
It was low-scoring games for Ninja Turtles, only scoring 27 and 33. We know they're capable of scoring more, so we know that Centurions' defense did come up big in those games to keep them in the games. Obviously, the Pilon brothers are going to be the big keys to victory for the Ninja Turtles. Who will be throwing for them? We saw Tam throw the last couple of weeks when Wade was always starting every game. Usually Wade would start, and then depending on how the game will go, Tam might come in or not. The last 2 games, it was Tam from beginning to end. So maybe they were gearing up for that playoff run where Tam would be their guy.
That's what I think also. In the first 2 meetings, Wade threw 95% of the passes in the game. And I think that they've realized that Wade could do it, but to win, Tam gives them the better option.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, that's what they're gearing up for the playoffs, for that push. to give them the chance to possibly play for the championship.
And Wade's a great receiver also,
Yes.
so he's a part of that offense. Not as if he's
Exactly.
not playing, if he's not throwing.
Exactly, and when he plays on the receiver, he does make plays. Okay, they're not big chunk plays, but
He moves the chains.
Exactly, the times that I've seen them play where Wade's been the receiver, okay, he doesn't have great stats, but 3rd and 4, he's getting that 5 yards on the outside, or he's making a guy miss to get that extra yard, so that they can move the chains, like you were saying.
Yeah. How about them Centurions though? Like coming up from being the D2 champs last year. And getting the 3rd seed in this really tough Division 1. Like, this Division 1 was competitive.
100%. To tell you the truth, I really expected them to struggle. I was expecting 5-5, 4-6 at best, right? With the way the division was looking.
Seem already there, Holy Trollers.
Yeah, yeah. But again, since they've added their new quarterback, or well, not new quarterback anymore, but they've always had a solid defense. And all they were missing was a quarterback. And now they seem to have had that quarterback. And it's just a matter of getting used to the competition that they're playing.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go to the other game, that Outlaws Henchman game that everyone was waiting for. Everyone had that circled in their calendars. Week 1, opening week of the MFL. Henchmen had a huge lead against the Outlaws at halftime. Outlaws claw back and they shut out the Henchmen in the second half. Then the second game goes into overtime. Super exciting. Like, I really think these two teams on paper match up. Like, talent for talent on the rosters, it couldn't be closer. Like, obviously, Outlaws have been playing together for a longer time. Steve has been quarterbacking the NFL for a much longer time. So we have the slight advantage there. But both teams have ballers across the board.
100%.
Both games had a playoff atmosphere in it. It was week 1, that first game. And, like, most of the guys are friends between both teams. They weren't even looking at each other pre-game, during game. The chirping was intense, back and forth. Marvin and Andrew's battles. And, like, that week 1 game was like a playoff. It felt like a playoff game to me playing in it. You also played in that game.
Yes.
It felt like a playoff game.
They all felt that they had to establish dominance right from the get-go.
And that first half was dominant for them.
Oh, yes,
really
100%.
dominant.
They were up 9 going into thing,
Yeah,
and they could not do anything in the second half.
Yeah.
Right, of the first game. Second game was a little bit different, but I wasn't there for that. But this week, I will tell you right now, it's going to be who can stay composed.
Yeah, and obviously the Henchmen, with all the hotheads they have,
yes,
they can't really stay composed. If they're down 1 score, if their QB throws a bad interception, you can't see them not turning on each other, right?
Yes, but here's the better question. Who's playing quarterback for them?
We'll get into that. I wanted to keep that one for the end because I heard some rumbling here and there.
Yeah, so did I.
Before that, I want to talk about some key matchups. I know they think that the way they could beat the Outlaws by playing man, so they play a lot of man, the Henchmen, and they're going to put Hugo on Svetna probably, Will on Smuda, and who do they have on... and Andrew on Marvin, obviously, because they think Andrew could shut down Marvin. So they pretty much go man across the board against us. That's what they did in most of their first 2 games. Steve's smart enough to go against that, but they think that their players could shut down our players.
I would not try and go man. I think the Outlaws have too much size that other than Hugo on their team, they can't match up.
Yeah, the Hugo usually stays with Svetna.
Yeah, which is fine, which I might even give Hugo the little bit of a slight advantage because he's a little bit more of a physical player than Svetna.
Okay.
Right? But I'm not taking Andrew over Marvin. There's no way. There is no way. I understand.
Say it again for Marvin.
Marvin, if you don't burn Andrew and make him your personal chauffeur or chaperone or whatever you want to call it for the day, since I don't want to swear, then...
John said we're allowed swearing on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, John said we're allowed
So,
swearing.
Marvin, you have to make Andrew your bitch. And you need to point this out to him every time you catch a ball over him. Because if Steve throws the ball to the high point, there is no way Andrew's getting up there. And if he does, then who's he jumping off of? And the ref needs to throw a flag.
Andrew got some hops, though.
Yeah,
Andrew got some hops.
but if Steve throws it up high and Marvin high points it, there should be no way Andrew gets up there.
Yeah, oh, we'll see about that. Those matchups are crazy.
And who do you say guarding Smuda?
Will was on Smuda last time.
Is Will coming back?
Will's going to be back. Will back.
Yeah, after
not playing for 3 weeks and being with a little camp with little kids and stuff.
I'll call that a push because I know that there's injury concerns, and when you come back off an injury, you might not be.
Yeah, both of
100%.
them haven't played in a little while, so
yeah, so
there's that.
I give it a push.
And so it's going to be great. Like our strong players against their strong players. But like you said, that QB controversy. I don't even know if Ross is aware there's a QB controversy now, but if he watches our show, he'll know.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of weeks now. I think he missed the last game of the season. DeMario took over at quarterback, and he played lights out that game. We all know how good DeMario is, right? DeMario's
100%.
a baller, any position. On offense, on defense, at the quarterback. I haven't seen him rush, but I'm sure even if he rushes, he'd be amazing. Like DeMario, they don't use him enough in that offense. And
I was just looking, and he does have enough games. I didn't see him there that much.
But he also joined later on, so...
No, he was on the roster right from the get-go.
Yeah, he was on the roster right on from the get-go, but he joined, like, I think week 3, so, like, it's always the half of the games played as when you join.
Yes, but because he was on the roster at the beginning of the season...
Okay.
Right?
But it's John's team, so John would have made an exception. You know John's exception.
I know. We all know John will do what he has to do, so he gets his way.
But, yeah, DeMario did play lights out at quarterback, but Rossi quarterbacked them 8 out of their 10 games, going 4 for 4. He wasn't there for that game against the Trollers where DeMario balled out. And then I heard people saying, we got to get DeMario as a quarterback, I won't say who was saying that, but, Will's the captain, and it's going to be his decision at the end. Will's too much of a good guy to make that call.
Yeah.
But if he has enough pressure from the people that are more outspoken from the team, who knows what will happen.
I can tell you right now, the reason why they're having this problem is because there's too many guys that play QB on that team.
Well, that's not a bad problem to have.
It's not, but they all want to do what they want to do. They all want the offense to run the way they run their offense.
I don't think DeMario wants that.
No.
DeMario will do whatever he wants to do for the team to win. He seems like a very team-first guy.
The other 2 guys who play quarterback on that team want it to be their way. The way that they play their offense.
They're all selfish and egocentric people on that team, as we know.
Yes.
But, who do you think DeMario gives them a better chance to win than Rossi does?
No, because if DeMario was there playing as a receiver, he's going to be a better receiver than Jason Rossi.
Yeah.
Right? But as a quarterback...
Rossi's had a great season this year.
Yeah.
Rossi played really well. First season in MFL, first full season, he's played really well.
Yes, and I have no issues with Jason. I've played against him many times in other leagues, and to me, he needs to use his legs a little bit more in the MFL.
It's going to be tough when I'm rushing him, right?
Yes, of course it will be, but by him using his legs...
I've seen him roll out more in other leagues and run...
and make big plays when this happens. Yes,
that's true. In the MFL, I haven't seen him run all that much. I don't even know how many attempts he has. But that is a good point. You don't have to give him that many keys to victory.
He hasn't ran the ball once this season.
Yeah, so that goes to tell you
yes,
he's not using that.
And to me, and as a quarterback, you have to use what you're good at.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to win, especially in playoff time, you can't just sit back and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I don't care.
Yeah.
If the run is there, use it, because then the defense has to come up, or the defense has to make an adjustment.
So how do you see this game going? You don't have to give your prediction as of now, but
I'm not allowed to give my prediction.
You're not allowed?
I'm not allowed.
We'll be doing
I'm
something...
supposedly, possibly involved in this game.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's
so it hasn't been cleared yet, but there's the possibility that...
That's right. Oh,
I'm there when...
Just divulge some insider information.
Whatever. It's not like...
Fear the beard.
Exactly. It's not like I'm going to come in and change the
outcome
of the game.
If you're playing, you're changing the game for sure.
Yeah.
If you're playing in that game, everything's going through you, and you're going to make every stop on defense. We'll put you on Andrew, on Hugo, on
I'm covering...
Chris.
Oh, wait. You didn't get the memo?
No.
I'm covering the 3 of them.
Yeah.
All at once.
Because we're going to be triple rushing at this.
No. The guys are going to be sitting on the sideline drinking their coffees and drinks and enjoying
themselves.
It's
the end of the day game, right? It's going to be at 3:30.
3:30.
One of the last games of the day.
Yeah.
Make sure, hopefully, people stay and watch the show, because we know that game...
It's going to be the game of It's going to be the game of the division by far. It might even be the game of the weekend.
Of the playoffs.
I don't know. I think
hopefully John does not ref that game, because we know...
I'm hoping that it's not the game of the week, the playoffs, but there's a good chance it could be, especially the way in past Division 1 finals have been.
They've been blowouts.
Yeah.
For those of you who are new to the league, the last couple of seasons, the 2 semifinal matchups have been won by single-digit points almost.
Yeah.
And the finals have been complete blowouts.
30 points.
30-point difference. Like, the semifinals are basically the finals, and when you... I don't know why it's like that, but it is what it is. So,
and you'd think that you end up with the 2 best teams. At the end of the season, you have the 2 best records playing one another, and it doesn't match up whatsoever.
No matter which team you are, the path to the finals in this D1 is really, really hard.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Whoever wins this D1 this year, kudos to them, because this year was a hard year.
If Centurions win, it wouldn't shock me, but it would be like, what the hell?
Yeah,
You know,
I think
because
it's fair to say that
to come up from Div 2
in their first season
and win in Div 1, to me, they're the by far underdogs in the division.
Yeah, because they'd have to go through Ninja Turtles and then the winner of Henchmen and Outlaws.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be easy. But they also beat Henchmen twice this season.
Yes.
So if they are playing Henchmen in the finals...
But both games, I think, were close, right?
The first one was close. It was an overtime. And the second one, they didn't have their quarterback. It was close in the first half, and it kind of got away from them later. Or no, sorry, it was a blowout in the first half, and they made it close at the end of the game.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So before we move on, Division 2, anything else you want to say about Division 1?
No, other than that, I feel it should be a good weekend, and hopefully everybody comes out and is ready to play.
Do you want to say why you're wearing this shirt?
No, I'll get to it later on.
Oh, later?
Yeah,
right.
later.
Okay,
Because there's no need to spruce it up now.
All right, so let's go to Division 2. Kevin will explain later why he's changing shirts for those of our radio audience that isn't watching the YouTube or Facebook channel. Kevin was wearing a certain jersey for the Division 1. He's going to wear a different jersey for Division 2, and he'll be changing jerseys for every division.
I know most of you guys are used to seeing me without a shirt on, but...
he was not allowed at my place to come without a shirt, so he said I'll bring 5 shirts.
So I'm wearing a shirt, but no pants.
He is wearing pants, for those of you wondering. I would not be sitting this close to him right now. Division 2, man, this division was crazy as well. The top end talent, we have 4 teams tied at 7-3. Four-way tie for first place. Les Petits Phoques get it off of tiebreakers. Second place is Honor Game. Third, OG Panthers. Fourth, Outlaw. So if you're looking at the standings on the website, it is not perfectly correct. The IT guys couldn't really program the head-to-head tiebreakers for multiple teams. But looking at these teams across the board, then the other teams to make it in were Dynasty, KOLB, and Joey's Haters. All great teams. Like literally, almost any team that's in right now can win. Can win the D2 championship. Like we had crazy close games. So Pittsburgh obviously getting that bye, beating OG Panthers in that last game, it kind of slipped away from us after that big win we had against Joey's Haters. And then Joey's Haters having Chris Hope quarterback against Honor Game to take the first round bye from Honor Game. Pittsburgh are walking into this weekend thinking their game meant nothing. Because if we beat Pittsburgh or if Honor Game won, there was no way Pittsburgh were getting that bye.
No.
And everything that needed to happen for them happened, and they're walking away with this with the first round bye, going to the semifinals. They don't even have to be there on the 21st, and they're looking dangerous right now.
Oh, for sure. Anytime Dom is your quarterback,
especially in Division 2,
any division,
yeah,
he always gives his team a chance to win. Like, and I know everyone's like, oh, it's only Dom, and all he does is run and this and that, but he doesn't run as much as what you guys all think he does.
He runs a lot behind the line of scrimmage to buy time.
Exactly, and just like Aaron Rodgers in the NFL, when he gets running around and this and that, he's always looking for that big play, and that's when those big plays happen. He just chucks it up, and you have Bress going up behind everybody, and you have, who else do they have? Etienne.
They got Alexis Ferrand, they got Vince,
yeah.
They got Boris. This team is stacked. I know they've been missing a lot of guys all there. They've rarely been the full team. They played a lot of games with just 6 players, which has been really, really impressive. Everyone goes both ways, and they still manage to get those dubs. But I think Bress is out for the playoffs. He got hurt. So I think they'll be without Bress, but they beat us without Bress.
And I know Vince ain't there for
this past Saturday, and Vince is not there either. But even without that, they got Chuck, they got Boris, and the girls on that team are balling out too. Charlie, Marielle.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's what I was going to say.
It's a complete team and a complete team effort, and like they distribute the ball to everyone. Like
yeah.
Lorianne at the snapper position against OG Panthers last week made some crazy...
She was wearing the 69 jersey,
yes,
right? Yes.
Made some crazy corner catches on key 3rd or 4th downs.
I saw one on a convert where the ball was thrown to the back corner and she went down on her knees, like diving sort of thing, and made the play. And I was like, wow. Not many of the guys in the league
can make those catches.
Yeah, exactly. And then like...
Guys, girls on that team, they're all ballers. Like,
yeah. I know all the girls, from what I remember, they've all played like flag and CJ in high school or possibly CJ.
Yeah.
But again, they know the game. They've played together for years. And they're out to really have a good time and have fun. That's the truth of the matter.
Yeah. So now going through these matchups, so we'll start with the first one at 9:30. We got OG Panthers going against KOLB. OG Panthers had that 6-game winning streak going on, got it cut by Pittsburgh. So OG Panthers have 3 losses this season, 2 against Pittsburgh and 1 against KOLB. And the team we're facing in the playoffs is none other than KOLB. They've been on a tear also. They beat some really strong teams, but also lost to some weaker teams they maybe shouldn't have lost against. But I know they have been nursing a lot of injuries on that team.
Yes.
And they have a lot of good players. And Jonathan Plot distributes the ball really well. He has a lot of main guys. It'll be interesting to see who shows up for that game because I think Maxime Plot is out. Alex Valliere missed a couple of games. They still got Jérémy Riendo-Desmers. If there was a two-way player of the year award in this league, he'd be up there for it.
Oh, yeah. 46 catches,
18 touchdowns.
I thought that was a typo.
No, he got 18 touchdowns, and he has 7 interceptions. So,
like, if he's got to be up there for
MVP
possible
also.
MVP.
Yeah, for receiver, for defender of the year. He'll be up there everywhere. Like I said, two-way player of the year, if this league had it, probably going to him.
Which is our two-way player is pretty much the league MVP.
Yes and no, yeah.
It's difficult, right?
If you're a quarterback and you're balling out and you're not playing defense, you could still win MVP, right?
Yes, but more often than not, if you're a receiver and you're winning MVP, it's not just because you balled out on offense.
True that, yeah. So, like, this team is really dangerous. Hopefully we get lucky with the injuries when we're facing them. It's a team we probably didn't want to face in the first round. Having finished 7-3, we didn't think we'd face this team, but they lost one of their last 2 games against Longchef that had a Dave Gostowski sub for them.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
So,
but I think they also thought the game meant nothing.
Yeah,
and I also think that game might be under review.
Oh, yeah, it was under review, and finally it cleared review. It's fine.
Okay, see, I didn't know that because I know that there was... Because if KOLB had...
won that game, they'd be playing the Outlaws. Yes. I think the Outlaws also wanted to avoid them.
Yes, we did.
So, yeah, the OG Panthers are healthy-ish. We have Dagger nursing an injury. Besides that, we'll all be there. Dagger's going to be a game-time decision.
And Louis is good.
Louis is 100% good. Charles has been on fire lately.
It bothers me.
It bothers
me.
Why does it bother you?
I talked so much trash about him for so many years.
So admit you were wrong. Give him his props now. Turn the page.
I did in the article that he balled out and that
he appreciated it.
You guys beat us because Charles was on point. He was smart. Going for 2-point converts when you're up 8 points or 7 points to make it a 9-point, make it 2-point is what beat us.
Yes.
You know?
Sure. So, yeah, like, this is, like, I didn't think this would be a first-round matchup, and I think the team winning this could go to the finals, probably. I mean, almost any team in this division could win and go to the finals. That's how close it is.
Yes.
And
KOLB, to me,
it's going to come down to the roster. It's exactly
hit or miss.
They either win by 45 or they lose by 45.
And the same with you guys. If your offense is on click, because you guys have a great defense.
Yes, our defense
if your offense is on point, you guys can play with anybody in the division, hands down.
It'll be interesting to see who's going to guard Louis on our team because Louis has been pretty much unguardable this year.
Yes,
in Division 2.
Has. We were lucky and we lost to you and he wasn't even there.
Yeah, you guys lost us and Louis wasn't even there. He finished the season with 700 receiving yards and I think 14 touchdowns, and he played 8 games as a receiver. So that's pretty good. That's nuts. Like 700 yards playing 8 games as a receiver.
It says 9 games.
He played one as a quarterback. He quarterbacked the game for us. Yes. A game and a half, actually. He went in at halftime for 1 game. So he's averaging almost 100 yards a game, which is pretty ridiculous. And people know he's our main guy, right? Like coming into
when you look at it, but like then you got your new center.
Yeah,
where'd you guys grab him from?
We found this guy walking on the street, saw a little blonde kid who said he could be quick. No. It's JF and Simon's buddy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And because they're both on the team.
JF got injured early in the season. He got a busted finger, and then he was going to miss 4 games. So he got Gab to sub for us for that time. And then we had other injuries, other absentees. So they both managed to do their games, and they're both roster players now for us. And we're going to have both of them going to the playoffs. Charles actually developed that great chemistry with Gab Moreau-Paquette, and that's maybe something that helped him go to the next level because Gab actually played a lot of football growing up. He even played a center. Like, he's small, but when he was cadet, he was actually playing center, so his snaps are on point. And he has a lot of football knowledge, really helping us with the insight with Charles. And I think that really helped Charles develop into the quarterback he is now.
I don't remember which game it was on this past weekend that he subbed in a game.
It was on Washington Foreskins. I turned around and I saw him make this diving interception.
And this is it. Like, I knew him from your guys' game.
Yeah.
But, like, he was wearing your guys' shorts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait. Like, no. And then I realized that when you said something to him, and I'm like, he just balled out. Like,
like, apparently he was the main guy on that team on offense. On defense with us, with the roster we have now, everyone coming back from injuries, we're more than, like, 7-8 guys, so he doesn't really play that much on defense anymore. And I see him making that diving interception. Okay, we'll rotate you in from time to time.
That's it, right? Like, I understand it might have been a lower division, but when you can ball out, you can ball out.
It was still old school Washington Foreskins, who are 2 really good Division 3 teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's it. Talking about my team. Let's move along to Joey's Haters honor game. They split the season 1-1. Honor game. Joey won the first one, and then that last game, Joey's Haters took away that first round bye. So how bad would it be if honor game loses that game, plays Joey's Haters, doesn't get the bye, and then they get knocked out by them? Obviously, it was Chris Hope throwing in that game.
Yes, it was,
and it was pretty shocking because you think that like Chris is a great quarterback. Don't take away from him, but Max, it's his team. He's played with that team all season long. You'd think that Chris would have less of a chance to win, right?
But I will tell you that they had 2 subs, really good subs. Jeremy, I don't know who he exactly is, sub for them. He was wearing a number 9 penny. He was phenomenal.
He plays in another team in the league?
I'm not sure. I think he might not.
Okay.
Right? But he really balled out. And you had, is it Jasmine from Les Tannants subbed also?
Oh, yeah, the quarterback? Yeah.
No, not the quarterback.
But he usually plays quarterback for them. Jasmine Henry?
Yeah, no, I don't think he's playing quarterback. He's a better receiver.
Okay.
But he balled out also. So the 2 subs that they had plus Chris, it was beyond
They're
ridiculous.
also missing Maxidori, though.
Yes, but I'm sorry, but I will take... I don't remember who snapped for them, but I think I would take Jeremy.
I think Francis was snapping, no? He was snapping against
Francis
us.
wasn't there.
Okay, the first game Francis was there and he was snapping against us?
But I would take Jeremy over Max Sidori.
I have no idea what Jeremy you're talking about, but...
This guy, Jeremy, he was a baller.
Over Maxidori. Maxidori is one of the top centers in the league.
Yes, by far.
And you would take Jeremy over him?
He made plays on both sides of the ball.
But who is this Jeremy? What team does he play on?
don't...
Get me more info.
I couldn't tell you.
Say in the comments, I'm Jeremy.
All I know is that John let me know that Joey's Haters were going to be allowed 2 subs. Jeremy...
Plus Chris at quarterback.
Yeah, Jeremy and Jasmine. And Chris was going to be playing quarterback, but wasn't allowed playing defense.
So, Honor Game was really the top team in this division. Like, yes, they lost that first round bye, but even with the stipulation of not having Marvin and Will at the same time, I think it's safe to say Pittsburgh had a great season, but I think Honor Game are the better team. Honor Game beat them by easily the second last week in the season with Pittsburgh having most of their roster there.
Yeah.
I think the size was harder for Pittsburgh against them with Laurent, Marvin, Dylan.
Yes, Petit Fuck, yes.
Yeah,
I was getting them mixed up with their old team, the Gros Coq.
So it'd be interesting to see this game against Joyce Haters. Do Joyce Haters have a chance? Is this going to be a walk in the park for Honor Game? Is this a trap game for them?
I think that...
Who's playing Will or Marvin?
To me, I think they have to go with Marvin.
In this game or throughout the playoffs?
See, if I'm Dave and I have to make the decision and they're going to split games, right? I have to go with Marvin the first game because if I have Will and I lose, Marvin doesn't get a play.
So you'd say go with Marvin, and then if you make it to the semis, Will, and then...
That's it. You got to play it by the matchup, right? Yeah. I think that the problem is in this past weekend when they played...
Marvin lost a lot of games this past weekend. You want a winner or a loser on your team?
He didn't play well, Marvin. The pick that Haney got, Marvin's like, why are you staying so far back? You can't guard me because Marvin was playing in the slot. Haney was playing on the corner. Mm-hmm. Marvin bobbles the ball over his head or
Marvin
something.
bobbles the ball
right into Haney's hands.
He thinks one of the best receiver. Yeah. He's doing this stuff in Division 2.
Yeah.
Come on, Marvin. Come on, man. You can do better than that.
So what happens when you go 0-4 and lose in the playoffs in Brossard?
So, do you see Joey's Haters winning this game? Can they win this game? I don't want to count them out, though, but, Honor Game have been an unstoppable machine.
I can see Joey's Haters winning, but...
Max does not turn the ball over, for one.
That's
and
it.
He's able to do it.
We've all seen End Games, right? Avengers End Games, and where Doctor Strange says it's like 1 in a multi-million chance. I think it's the same thing this weekend. I don't think that the Haters can keep up with Honor Games. The issue will become if Honor Games can stay composed and stop blaming the refs for everything.
And there's more chances they're composed with Will in the lineup than Marvin.
100%.
Because we know Will's attitude and Dave's chemistry with him, while Marvin and Dave get at it a little more. So that's yes, maybe Marvin gives him a better chance to win talent-wise, but Will's attitude in the game and sportsmanship is also a side you have to factor in. So
100%.
If I'm Dave right now, what do I do?
But again, right, every time that I've seen them play without Will has been there by the sideline in the thing.
And when Will doesn't play, Marv's not always there. He's maybe reffing some games, making some money.
Exactly. So to me, I'm
yeah, you wouldn't want to be in Dave's shoes right now, right?
No, not even, because both of them are uber talented.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of the matchups.
Yeah,
and it's going to come down to also You got Haney. You got Arthur.
Adam.
Right? Those are 3 big guys. And then you got Max at center.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of figuring out the matchups.
Yeah. Let's go to that last D2 game. D-Nasty against Outlaws. D-Nasty had a little tough middle of the season, and they managed to sneak into the playoffs with a couple of wins at the end of the season. They're going to have their hands full against the Outlaws now. They played you early on in the season. It was closer than I thought that game would have been, and they had a non-touchdown that was close to be a touchdown on the last play of the game that could have potentially tied it if they would have gotten the 2-point as well. You guys won that game 26-18.
Yeah.
And I was 20-6 at the half. I thought it was going to be a blowout the way you guys were moving the ball. I saw bits and pieces of that game, and then Dynasty made it a game, right?
I can tell you what happened.
Also, the quarterback was not there. Kevin
yes.
was not there in that game as well.
I don't. Who was there?
It was
Maxim
quarterback.
I can tell you what happened. We got up early. Second half, we coasted. We took it easy, and it is what it is, right? You can't do that in the playoffs, though.
You cannot do that.
Because by doing that, we allowed them to get back in the game. And what happens if they had scored that touchdown, like you said, at the end of the game and get that 2? Okay, yes. It's hard to get converts, period. But to get a 2-point convert at the last, with the game out of the line, is a safety cushion for us in that game. But it really should never have come down to that.
And I think that's one of the games you guys scored the least points on offense. So
again, first half we got up early. Second half we wasted clock and took our time.
You guys one drive in the second half probably.
Second half, what happened? We started with the ball. No, that was first half. Second half we had started at 14 minutes, went all the way down to 6 minutes. We wasted 8 minutes.
8-minute drive.
An 8-minute drive.
How?
With a touchdown.
Okay.
Right? And then we got an interception right after that.
You guys got an interception?
We got a pick off. Justin got an interception. And then we wasted the last 6 minutes. Then we turned over on downs. Right?
Okay.
And then they had the ball, and then that was it, pretty much.
Okay.
Then we went 4 and out. It was back and forth after that.
Okay.
But realistically, out of all the matchups, I think the Outlaws got the luckiest with the.
So you're saying Dynasty are one of the worst teams that made the playoffs?
I'm not saying that, but matchup-wise, Outlaws seem to have the better matchup amongst the other teams.
Probably one of the teams you least wanted to avoid in the first round.
Exactly. If I'm the Outlaws, I don't want to play KOLB. Yeah, we beat them, but it was a shootout, and I'm not doing that again. It's not to be in that position. It should never have been there, right? And then who's the other team in there?
Joey's haters.
The haters. The haters are the haters, right? Everybody hates them, but they're a good, solid team. And any week, if Max is on...
Had Joey been here, would the haters have made the playoffs?
Never. That's why Joey's not here. They paid for his trip to South America. They're like, Joey, go. We don't need you for the season. But yeah, looking at the matchup, I think that the Outlaws got a huge break with who they're having to play because those other 2 teams, it would be really tough.
All right, so Division 3, new division, New Jersey.
That's how it goes, folks.
A lot of huge games this weekend. Mustard Tigers, after going 0-5 to start the season, they won 5 straight games, and it was a little too late. They still didn't make it into the playoffs. Black Knight secured that last playoff spot, I believe.
Did they?
Yes.
Even with their loss, because they lost.
Yeah, they still made it in based on points against. Because
because they did it. It was
old school Black Knights and Mustard Tigers in a 3-way tie, and they all had split games, so it was 1-1 for all 3 of them. So it went to points against.
Oh man!
And Mustard Tigers did not make it based on those points against. Average Joe's had a solid season. Sad to see them not make the playoffs with that roster they had. A lot of talent. Finishing 4-6 in that division. First, Jason throwing in Division 3. A little bit of a disappointment. Right, I don't think we saw them. We had higher expectations before the season started. I think 5-5 was what we maybe had predicted.
Yeah.
But this division was hard, right? The top end talent with Arnaud's, Deep Threats, Niceties, Les Tannantes. It was a difficult division to do well in.
Oh yeah, and Foreskins. Let's not sleep on them because they're a good team, but they
depends
might not
who they have there. Depends who they have with there, right?
But the same could be said about Les Tannantes.
True.
Beginning of the season, they had their quarterback, they had their roster there, and they were blowing teams out. Down the stretch, I understand it's summer, vacation, this and that, but come on, guys. It's Saturday. You got football. You make a commitment. You show up. You dominate, and you go home as a champion. Now, you got to fight for everything you have to get as the number 4 seed.
Yeah.
Going into the season, we all thought Thanos was going to go walk over everybody, especially with the way they started the season.
We thought we made a mistake leaving them in Division 3. We thought we needed to put them in Division 2.
Yeah. That was the topic going before the season started.
Like, just to show you how hard this division was, obviously Inos have that first round bye. Looking at the 3 matchups we have now for these quarterfinals, Foreskins against Les Tannantes, Black Knights against Deep Threats, Old School against Nice CDs. Each game could go either way. No one has an easy game there, right?
I heard that wrong. I heard Old School and Nice TDs and Deep Threats. That's what I heard in my head. I was like, wait.
That's not too fast.
I was like, wait.
But, like, every game is a hard game. Like, there's no easy game there, right? Like, we know Old School, how they play in the playoffs. They're a playoff team, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That
100%.
He carries that team on his back,
Yes.
and he has the Reeves brothers. He has a bunch of people on that team. And,
I saw them play.
You don't want to play them in the playoffs. And, like, Chris and Andrew, how they get when they're not up or it's not going their way.
Well, that's it. They're very emotional.
So I guess we'll start previewing this game, Old School and Nice TDs.
Yeah, we can do that. But to me, it's going to come down to Chris.
Chris?
Yeah.
On offense or on defense?
Offense, because he seems to be a little hostile towards his receivers when they don't run the right route, or they drop a ball, or he throws it into the ground.
Or if they actually run the right route too, and even if they do catch the ball sometimes.
Well, that's it. You got to turn up. You got to get extra yards, blah, 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 this and that. Chris, relax.
Chill, bro.
Like, seriously, most of the guys on the team just want to have fun. Yeah, they want to win, but you can't win every game.
Tell him how it is.
He knows how it is. But he's always, that's how just Chris is. So, like, remember, they were kept in Div 3 because Chris and Andrew were not supposed to play defense.
It took one half.
Half of the first game for them to start playing defense.
For that BS to come out.
Yeah. And I was 100% on Chris's side when he said him and Andrew weren't going to play defense when we were there.
You believe that?
I did not believe it.
You gave him the benefit of the doubt?
I gave him the benefit of the doubt, hoping that he was going to be a man of his word. And that's why, if you've read my past articles, he's a great used car salesman. He can sell ice to an Eskimo.
I think he's going to Division 4 next season. Because they didn't finish undefeated this year, so he's probably going to go to Division 4 next season.
Oh, that might be tough because, Div 4 is going to be tough next season.
Yeah.
I mean, who's else is going to get? Marvin, all the Div 4 team, right? Chris, Andrew, they might be coming to talk to you.
So, what are the keys to victory for Old School? How could Old School pull off the upset? How could they win this game? Dyke has to play lights out and not turn the ball over, and Dyke has to be a big factor on defense, obviously.
Honestly, their teammates, Chris, Andrew, and Dyke and Henchman.
Yes.
Right? They've played against each other enough times. Chris isn't going to throw the ball anywhere near Dyke. I'm just going to send someone streak down wherever Dyke is and get Dyke out of the play. Forget it. If I'm going to beat them, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to not put the ball anywhere near Dyke and go short. But again, he's got Nick, Max, and Jonathan, who are all ballers.
Yeah.
Right? Even Alex playing center. Alex, he's not getting huge yards after catch.
He drops one ball per season. I saw him drop one this year, so he's not dropping any other
Alex
ones.
ain't getting huge yards.
No, but he's getting those key third downs.
Exactly.
He's
getting 3rd and 3. He's getting 4 yards. Oh, he might make a guy miss here or there, but generally, people look at Alex and they say, oh.
Let's not cover him.
Yeah, exactly. Let's leave him alone, and he's going to be, I think,
he's a smart player. Yeah.
I think he's going to be the key to them winning because Dyke's not going to turn the ball over because he's going to try and do the same thing, avoid Chris and Andrew. And I don't think the rest of the team defensively is as good as Chris and Andrew, and they will have mind lapse and screw up and make an error or this and that where they will get yelled at from Chris.
Interesting that this game's at 2 p.m. and then they have the 3:30 p.m. with the henchmen. So to see Dyke, Andrew, and Chris, how hard are they going to go at this game? Are they going to keep some energy left in the tank? Who knows? If it's going to be a hot day like it was last Saturday.
To me, even though you have multiple games, you can't take it easy.
Oh, never.
You've got to go as hard as you can.
Like you said, in the playoffs, anything could happen. You're not taking drives off. You're not going soft. You're up 3 possessions. You're still going to score the next possession.
Yeah. So you might try and slow it down a little bit.
Yes.
But you're not going to say, okay, whatever.
I'll take it. Yeah, exactly.
And I don't see Dyke coming off the field because if he does, they're just going to get exposed.
Exactly. So next game, Deep Threats and Black Knights. How much talent is going to be on this field with Jonathan Svetna, JC, Sean Kennedy, Leon throwing.
I don't think JC's going to be there.
It's true, he was injured. Dude.
I spoke to him this past weekend in Brossard, and he had mentioned that he's out for 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks.
True. That's huge.
Right?
Piece.
So
he's Leon's main guy on that team, right?
That's huge for the Black Knights if he's not there, especially since these two teams were supposed to play in the season.
And it was a forfeit.
And it was a forfeit because Deep Threats weren't going to have their players there.
And maybe that's one of the reasons Black Knights made the playoffs. Had they played that game and lost, maybe they would have been out, right?
But according to Black Knights, they have all personnel. Like, I talk a lot about Svetna because he's...
Who's covering Svetna?
Any one of them from there.
Any one of them.
Any one of them. They have enough ballers and pieces that
Svetna, you hear that, bro?
That they could take him out on one-on-one. And when I heard this, I was like...
Svetna's unguardable in D1, like, let alone...
They think that they have personnel that they could take Svetna out of a game. Wow. And you know what? More props to them. You go in there with that attitude, shut down Svetna. Go ahead, have fun. But all year, teams have tried it, and they haven't succeeded. And even when Svetna takes it easy on teams, right? You have other guys. Alex, 350 yards, 9 touchdowns. Harry, who I don't even know who this guy is, right? 200 yards, 6 touchdowns. No, but you know what I mean? Like, before the season, I nominated him. I put him as one of my players of the week because he balled out. With deep threats, you could take Svetna out. Take 2 guys. Make sure you take at least 2 guys.
Yeah.
But somebody else on that team is going to step up.
Pretty much.
You know, so I'm not worried for them. JC has evolved dramatically from the beginning where he just chucked it up. Now, the deep ain't there. He's going to take what you give him. Yeah,
JC got way better at quarterback. Maybe dropping a Division 3 slowed things down a little bit and gave him more confidence.
That could be it.
But we know how good Leon's also a little bit of a hit or miss. Like, he's had great games and pretty average games where we expected more from him. But we know Leon could ball out any of these quarterbacks.
100%.
So Leon's a baller. Who's playoff ready? Who's going to come?
To me, I think the advantage goes towards Black Knights.
To Black Knights?
Yes. And only because they've played the last couple of weeks.
Okay, you think Deep Threats had their bye, lost a game by forfeit, I've been away.
Exactly. I'm not saying Svetna can't just walk off the bus and ball out.
Yeah, I think
Don't get me wrong. I think he can too. But realistically, it's the timing with the other receivers.
Yeah.
Svetna's going to make plays. I don't care. Like you said, Div 1, he's making plays with top guys covering him. Div 3, he's going to make plays because he makes plays.
Yeah.
You know? But overall, with the consistency of the teams playing over the past couple weeks, I got to give it a slight advantage to Black Knights just because they've played and timing. But I've seen them play, and I'm not 100% sold with Leon. I heard that before. He used to be a great quarterback.
You're not 100% sold with him, but you're still giving them the advantage.
Giving them the advantage just because they've played the last
couple of weeks. You contradict yourself a couple of times, right?
Yes, I know. But I'm not sold on Black Knights either. Because
but they have the advantage.
I'm giving them the advantage just because they played the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But like, I could flip a coin right now and tell you, okay.
So before you flip the coin and change your mind, let's go to the Washington Foreskins Tannant game. That's another great game. Like, if Foreskins and Tannant have their full rosters now, like with both of them having their main quarterbacks, this game could be like a shootout. It'll be really fun to watch.
Yes. It's going to come down to
I really hope everyone has their rosters. It sucks when you come in the playoffs and you have guys like, what do you have that's more important than MFL playoffs? Like, seriously.
Exactly. Like, and to me, I don't understand how you commit to playing all season knowing that it's very simple to find out when the playoffs are going to be.
Yeah.
Right? So realistically, you're like, I'm going to play all year to miss the playoffs? Well, why bother?
Yeah.
Right? I'm the star of the team, but I'm going to play, and now I'm letting my team down.
Yeah.
You know?
So how do you see this game going? Like, who has the advantage this one?
I want to go Les Tannants because I've seen what they can do with their full roster.
Yeah. Phil Fallon's also another receiver that's unguardable in Division 3.
Yeah.
D1 talent for sure.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And, Foreskins moving up from Division 4, not really having that much of a problem in Division 3 either.
No, because that was... Oh, John thought it was going to be a tough decision to move them up.
Yeah, but finally, not really.
They've held their own, you know?
Yeah. And I think it's really going to depend. It's hard to predict because we don't know which rosters are going to be there. I think their quarterback had missed a couple of games. He showed up for those last 2 games to end the season. And,
Yeah, to me, that's the big issue, right? Like, You can't say, oh, they're going to win the game and then their roster not show up. But look, all year they've had guys for Les Tannats. 6 games, 7 games, 8 games, you know?
Yeah.
Like, guys are missing all over the place.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's why this game is probably the hardest one to pick, because both teams are stacked.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't know who's showing up, how are you picking a winner?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. All right, that's it for Division 3.
All right. Wardrobe change.
All right, so Division 4 now. In Division 4, 8 teams make the playoffs. No one has that first round bye. Flamboyant Flamingos secured that perfect season going 10-0. Did you want to go 10-0 or did you not want to go 10-0? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? We'll soon find out. Les Panaches, Raw Sauce, Thunder Buddies, Titans, like that top end talent, that division is really strong.
100%. Like,
and
most of those teams could compete with Div 3 teams. I'm not saying they're going to win and they're going to like dominate, but realistically,
they'd beat Nice Cities.
What?
They'd all beat Nice Cities.
You think so?
Easily, Nice Cities.
Maybe it depends.
I was just kidding.
No, but like when you look at the top end of Div 4 and the bottom end of Div 3, those would be great games.
Yes.
You know,
agreed.
like I don't think that any of these teams could go compete with the top 3 teams in Div 3.
No, and in Div 4, the thing was that like there was a lot of parity in the top end teams and a lot of parity in the bottom end teams, but the top teams were pretty much smashing the bottom teams. Like, it's a newer division. It was hard. There was a lot of teams, and like obviously it's hard. Like, we can't have like 10 divisions either, right? So
No.
like the parity in it, like from the top end teams and the bottom end teams, like there was a lot of like high scoring games there.
But that's the big problem, right? With the divisions being as big as what they are, and it makes it difficult. Like even last season, like when all the divisions, like for the fall season, were 13 teams.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, yeah, it's great that it's a big
But at the
division.
same time, you don't want to play the same team 2-3 times, right?
No, you don't. Not unless you're a beginner team. And like if you're a beginner team, fine. But none of you guys are.
So let's start with the team that secured that first place finish, Flamboyant Flamingos. They'll be going up against Les Bouchers. Les Bouchers, who started off slow, a new team in the league, and had a great end to their season, winning 2 out of their last 3 games pretty convincingly. They had a big win against a serial killer, so I've been a great team this season as well. Like, that Flamboyant Flamingo team is a hard team to play against. Offensively, defensively, like, you can't really you can't go deep against them. Like, you'll be lucky if it's not an interception, right?
No, like
they got so many great DBs there. Like, they have multiple guys with, like, a lot of interceptions on that team. I'm gonna go through the stats here. They got Alex Morin with 10 picks in 7 games. They got Thomas Leclerc 5 picks in 6 games. Chris 5 interceptions. Gabriel Soma 7 interceptions.
Yeah, no,
like,
I'm
ridiculous.
looking at this and it's absolutely ridiculous.
And it's not even like one guy; it's the whole
right?
team.
You got one guy with 3 pick sixes,
And then they got
3 other guys with other pick sixes.
Yeah,
like,
they got
come on.
Alexa Clemente in the short that's racking up the tackles, leading the team in tackles.
Like,
so you can't even like do those short plays. And don't forget, this is the team. They don't even have the stats that they played with the lower division D5 right there.
No,
this is only based on none of these they played 7 games, so none of them have like a full 10-game season. And they're balling out across the board.
Yeah, like it's a little bit ridiculous when you think about it.
So like,
they scored 41.3 points a game, giving up 11.
Yeah,
like,
that's a 30-point difference, and that's
like they could show up, play the first half, and be like, "No, we'll
give
forfeit the second half." Like,
just keep scoring.
Yeah,
pretty ridiculous. And like, I think they're clearly the team to beat. I think this team could have probably went fighting for 500 in Division 3 and a playoff spot.
Remember last year when they came into the league,
it was not the same roster they have now.
Oh no,
No.
They added
the Moraine brothers.
Oh, where did they come from?
They subbed a couple of games last year for them, I think, towards the end.
But
they lost their players. They had a couple of more weaker players, I guess, on their team that they.
Because I know that last year they were good.
No, but they did not have at all the same roster.
No, and I also heard that they had practice from months.
Willpower.
Well, he went to go get ice cream with his buddies.
Seeing a couple of MFL guys running around and doing that, so they're practicing before the season. It just shows their dedication. Like, yes. Kudos to them for going 10-0. Like, putting in the work before the season starts. I don't think many teams do that, right?
To tell you the truth, when I spoke with them last year, they had said that they were trying to practice once a week even then.
And it shows. I don't think like these guys were a new team last year, and look at them now, like probably going to be in Division 3 with this fall.
Well, if not...
Going 10-0, no matter what happens in the playoffs, it's just one game. Like, this is a Division 3 team, right?
You have to say so.
Yeah.
Right? But again...
And I don't think they want to stay in that competition because, like, yes, they had tight games against Raw Sauce Panache, but I don't think they played Raw Sauce, but they did have some tight.
No, they
games.
only played Panache twice,
Yeah.
and the second game was switched because it was supposed to be against
and Panache
Sneaky Snakes.
Panache missing most of their roster.
The second time, the first time was a 1-point game.
Yeah, so
literally. The second game, I'm not counting.
So they did have like a close game against a top end team in Division 4, but they're not going to get better by winning by 30 points every game.
No.
If they want to take the game to the next level, it'll be by playing against higher competition and coming into D3.
Well, that's it. Like, I spoke to, what is her name? Mary Lou from Sneaky Snakes after they played them, I can't remember what week. And she goes, do you guys have fun beating up on teams?
Oh.
And they said yes.
Oh, yeah?
We're having fun because we're winning. And it doesn't matter.
But you could have fun in winning, but there's also the way to win. And think
what
about the development, right?
Sneaky Snakes lost to Flamingos 52-0.
Yeah.
Okay? Who's having fun in that game?
Can the Boucher win this game? And how could the Boucher pull off the upset? Like,
They can't.
Lucas has been a great quarterback this year coming in into the league.
Realistically, to me, Les Bouchers have over-exceeded what I expect them to do.
Agreed.
And when I was there early on before the season started, I saw them practicing, and their quarterback looks good.
He looks good.
You
They have two receivers with over 500 yards. Both Xavier Bonneau and Félix Bégin over 500 yards, 9 and 12 touchdowns apiece. Those are the main two guys you got to focus. And listen,
But then after
Lucas,
that,
if you're listening, don't try the deep. Do the easy short routes. Make the defense come towards you, and then take a deep shot. Like, those little passes are going to move the chains. You want to keep the ball. The longer your offense has the ball, the less time the Flamingos have the ball. You want to do long drives. Do a Jonathan Evans drive. Do a Stephen Harper drive.
Yeah.
Keep the ball for 8 minutes long and end up scoring. That's one way that you could win this game.
when you're not a good team, well, not saying that you're not a good team, but when you're not a
Kevin says it as it is.
when you're not a high-powered team that can score at will, your way to win games is to keep the points to minimum.
Yeah.
So if I limit the number of times you have the ball,
There's less times you could score.
exactly, and it keeps the game closer. Like, you can go out there and score 50 points, but if you're giving up 50 points also, does it do you any good? Eat the clock.
Play keep away football.
Yeah. That's how the only chance that they have to win this game. Right? I like Les Bouchers before the season when I saw them practicing. I thought they had a good bunch of guys, this and that. But the roster is quite big. And if they're going to divvy up playing time evenly, to me, they're not going to have a chance in this one. You know? And that's going to be tough for them. Because I know they're all a bunch of friends and they want to have a good time.
So next game, the team that secured that second spot was Ross House. They'll be playing Wolfpack. I don't think Marvin is going to be in that game. But anyway, Marvin is not a D4 player anymore. We saw your son, the one and only Nick, the little mouth Kousaie, outplaying Marvin in that game because Thunder Buddies played against Wolfpack this past weekend. And Nick had more everything than Marvin in that game.
I was told the whole time just to talk about how Nick made Marvin his bitch.
Yeah.
Right? How he outplayed Marvin and Marvin is,
D4 player of the epoch, century, and everything. But I think that title goes to little Nicky right now. Nick had an interception in that game. Marvin did not have any. Nick scored a touchdown in that game. Marvin did not have any.
They almost had the same yards.
Yeah,
right?
Same amount of catches, but Nick turned his into points.
And he had a 1-point convert.
Exactly. So Marvin almost did he even play that game? Maybe.
Marvin had 3 tackles. Nick had 2, but I'll take 2 and an interception over 3 tackles any day. You know? So how's it feel, Marvin, to get outplayed by a 16-year-old kid?
How tall is he now?
5'7"?
Yeah.
5'7". Soon, Marvin, he's going to be 6'3". He's going to be looking down on you.
So yeah, Ross House Wolfpack. I think Marvin is not going to be playing in this game because he has the conflict with Outlaws D1. Maybe John moved that, but I do not think so. Ross Haas have been a machine also this year. They've also been beating up on a couple of teams. They had a 3-game win streak where they let 0 points. Actually, 4 of their last 5 games they let 0 points against. So that's crazy.
This is a remarkable fact. They have the best defense in the league with 8.4 points a game.
That's crazy.
I thought for sure Flamingos had it with 11 points.
Yeah, but when you have
the best rusher,
they have 4 shutouts. They have 4 times they've shut out a team out of 10 games. Yeah. And one time they let out 2 points. So they clearly have the best rusher in the division.
Not even close. Like, you see this
24 sacks in 9 games. That's crazy. They have one of the best receivers in the division with Yvan Desjardins as well. 600 yards in the season, 12 touchdowns.
I think he might have subbed for what's it called?
Oh, you meant him instead of he's Jeremy?
No, there were Jeremy and I think he subbed in a game that I watched too, and he balled out too.
Okay.
I think it might have been against Honor Games too.
Next time, get the name straight.
Yeah, it's confusing when there's all these subs.
You're on the media team. We expect more from you.
I try, but I'm competing with Will, so it's like...
Yeah, Will doesn't really try.
I
But
know.
Will's better at faking it, Like, Will pretends he knows.
Yeah, but, I tell it as it is, as you said earlier.
So, yeah, this is going to be another game that's going to be really one-sided, in my opinion. I can't really see Wolfpack coming with a win. I don't know who's going to QB for them, but even if it's, I think, Jason Armanti or whoever it is, it's going to be a tough show. Like, I think Ross Oss crushed Wolfpack in this one. And
I think so.
whatever
too.
I said for Le Boucher, Wolfpack, if you're listening, use the same strategy. Keep the ball away from them. Try to have the ball as long as possible. Go short. Don't take those risks. And that will give you the best chance of winning, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, but like you said, Ivan is the best receiver on the team. They're not going to stop him.
No.
Right? And Antoine, is that his name
Antoine
correctly?
Théroux.
Is the best rusher. So who's ever playing quarterback for you, take the snap at 10 yards
And throw it right
and
away.
throw a 2-yard pass. Because if you take a 3-yard pass, you're getting sacked.
Yeah.
Okay? And I said it to somebody at the beginning of the year. It might have even been you. About you look at this guy, Antoine, and you're like, who? Like,
Not that he looks unathletic, but he doesn't look like the most athletic. And, he's literally, I'd say he could be a rusher in D1. Like,
by far.
he rushed me personally, and he gave me, in all the games I played in that
Did he sack
division.
you 5 times?
No, just 3.
3? Oh, but he,
But he also limited
Yes.
my running. Even though he got also maybe another 5 tackles, within 5 yards. I never really had a trouble running the ball or throwing against any rusher in the league. I'm pretty shifty, elusive. I can buy time. He shut me down. Single-handedly shut me down that game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember looking at that, and I was like, no, there's got to be a mistake.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to get some yards wrong because there's no way Terry ran 4 times for 8 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way.
Yeah, so, and he's just, it's his technique, his underrated speed, and he's just focused, and whether it's a mobile quarterback or not, when you get more than 20 touchdowns in a season,
You mean
I don't
sacks?
care what, it's 20 sacks in a season. I don't care what division you're playing in, what league you're playing in. That's impressive. That's impressive numbers.
Unless you do what Brett Favre did and take that dive and let the guy get the sack for the title.
I mean, it'd only be one.
Yeah, but, is that the most sacks anybody's had in a season?
In MFL?
Yeah.
It pretty much may be.
What's your
all
record?
divisions, 20.
Terry,
So
you're
just-
slacking. Only 20.
Yeah,
Steve, next year, check out with Antoine. He might be available.
Yeah. All right, let's change games now. Les Panache Serial Killers. Serial Killers also exceeded expectations this year.
Yes.
New team coming in wearing pink jerseys. We know nothing about them. They have a pretty cool name. They've balled out this year. They had a good strong season, finishing 5-5. Ballers across the board. Clearly, their main guy is Julian Chris on offense and on defense, but they also have Tarek Aldik, who had 400 yards, 6 touchdowns.
2 guys with 400 yards.
Yeah. Tarek and Julian. And
I got to assume Lucas is the center.
based on what?
Catches, yards.
I think he is.
But again, they do spread, it's not huge numbers that they're completing, passing wise.
Yeah.
But the ball is evenly spread around.
And they score.
Yeah. Again, right? I know that you played them early on in the season.
Yeah, we played them the first week of the season.
It
It was close early, and then we kind of took a big lead after based on experience. But I was happy to play them early on because I said it, this team is raw, and they're going to get way better.
Well, and they did, right? Teams, they were athletic. Once they knew the game, and that's the thing. First season, you can rely on your athleticism and just chuck the ball up and this and that. But as you develop, you need to learn the game. And once you've learned the game, you'll be able to use your athleticism properly, sort of thing.
Les Panache beat them pretty convincingly when they played in the season, 44-25. Felix had balled out in that game, 200 yards, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. But I think this game's going to be way closer than that one. I think this could be a track game for Les Panache. Les Panache obviously had this great season. They lost that one game, the 1-point game to Flamingos, and they didn't really have their roster show up in the last game.
Yeah, I don't count that last game by watching it.
So, this game could be a close game. Les Panache obviously coming down from D3, one of the top teams in D4. They got so much experience on that team. They got Felix, the quarterback. They got Thomas. They got Martin. These guys have played in higher divisions.
Yes.
Not only in the MFL, but in other leagues as well. So they have that brain power, on offense and on defense. It's really a hard team to play against. So it's gonna be an interesting game.
Yes, it is. The biggest improvement Panache has made was swapping quarterbacks.
Amelie was a good quarterback,
Yes.
but her ball stayed in the air a little long against taller defenders. She was throwing too many interceptions.
I've spoken with her, and I've spoken to, I think Alex coached her in high school.
Okay.
Right? And he used her as a halfback. Problem is that she's used to playing against girls who are all shorter and not as athletic.
Yeah.
So when you try and come over and play with the men, it makes it a little bit more difficult because they're faster, they're stronger, they jump higher, they're taller. So those balls that she might complete with the girls, she wasn't completing. But even Felix, first year playing quarterback, he's done a good job.
He's a smart player.
Yeah. And he runs around like you do, Terry, and buys time and picks and chooses his spots to go to.
Yeah. Speaking about running around, that last D4 game that we're going to talk about might have a lot of running. I think it's the game of the week in Division 4, Thunder Boys against Titans. Ben McMahon going up against me. I'd say maybe two of the better quarterbacks in that stat-wise this season. Two of the most running quarterbacks also. He obviously crushed every record. I think he ran for 700 yards. He ran in 9 games. He had 69 attempts for 707 yards and 9 touchdowns, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's better numbers than any receiver practically in that division, right? As a receiver. So
I will tell you,
add a receiver on the team that had 700 yards, but it was him running.
I will tell you that a couple games that I watched him play.
It's a cheat code.
Even when you rush 2 players, it's not fair.
Yeah.
Because he just runs around and he'll run to the left sideline, run to the right sideline. All the receivers are downfield, and then it's I'm just going to run. He'll run. I saw a game where it was last play of the half. He ran 45 yards after scrambling around for 6-7 seconds into the end zone. Took off 45 yards and ran up to defenders and took off sideways, laterally towards them, with them in front of him, and they didn't even get a finger on him.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's not only Ben, though. They got Austin McMahon and Stephen Biddle, who combined for 25 touchdowns and over 800 yards amongst the two of them.
Yes.
So that's his snapper, and then his brother are his 2 main guys. And they also have Matteo Bucci, who's their deep threat guy, averaging over 20 yards a catch and 7 touchdowns. So, they got talent across the board.
Yes. Offensively,
I wonder how mad they are from having Steve throwing against them, so how much they're going to want the revenge game to come.
That's it. Realistically, they understood that the game meant nothing when they played you guys because you guys were still going to play the same thing.
It screwed them up for home field advantage, so we'll get to decide what we want to do. Yes, I'd agree that we don't really care. But
you guys don't wear... no, you wear green and they wear red. Black and red.
Yeah, so there's no issue about that either.
But realistically, it's going to come down to...
Come down to what?
For Titans... for Thunder Buddies, who is going to be rushing Titans? Right?
We'll find out on Saturday.
I know that I've heard different stories and who's what. I won't say anything because I know people will cry.
Who's going to cry?
What? I've heard Rob was going to rush. I heard Rosaline's going to rush.
And who's going to cry whether you say something?
I heard that what's it called might even rush.
Mustafa.
Of course, that's what I heard. But
Mustafa used to run marathon, so don't count him out.
I'm not, but I'll take if you're going to rush Mustafa. I'm sorry, but Ben's getting 150 yards rushing. Mustafa's not getting...
You've never seen Mustafa rush. I'd wait to see him rush before talking.
I'm just saying from my experience and from what I've seen, I know you guys call him the...
Fat ballerina.
Exactly, right?
He got them spin moves. He got them hips.
But when you're rushing, you're not spinning. So
maybe you're going to have to spin to stop Ben running, right? You might have to try some new things.
That's it. Realistically, it's going to come down to containing Ben. Right?
100%. Because we saw that if you take away his running, not that he's not a good thrower, Ben's also a great thrower. He throws such a nice ball.
Yeah.
But if you take away that part of his game, or just let him buy a little less time, that's when you give yourself a chance to win.
Yes, 100%. And look, teams have beaten Titans, but
not really. The teams that have beaten Titans this year were Thunder Buddies with Steve throwing.
That doesn't
Washington Foreskins before moving up. Wolfpack with Chris and Marvin on the team. So. And then this last week they lost by forfeit. So those were their 4 losses. I would say this team's undefeated in my mind.
They forfeit the game?
No one from the team didn't show up. It was a bunch of subs. John put together a team of free agents to play against Ross Haas.
So it
was pretty much forfeit, but he kept the stats in there for Ross Haas to get all their stats because Ross Haas only plays for the stats.
Yeah, but
that's how.
So was Chris and Andrew on those teams?
Chris and Andrew played them with Wolfpack.
Okay.
And they both played defense and offense in that game. So in my mind, this team didn't lose a game. They lost to Washington Foreskins, who are in Division 3. They lost to Thunder Buddies with Steve.
Yeah.
They lost to Wolfpack with 2 Division 1 players, and they lost by forfeit. This team has no loss.
Yeah.
So this team hasn't been beat yet.
It's going to be a tough one, really. I want to see how you guys slow them down, and I want to see how their defense. I know from that last game that when you guys played them, even though with Steve, that there's some tendencies defensively.
What are they?
For them? Well, what I've heard is that they're not quick, so you could beat them with quick slants and stuff like that, and like trying to go over the top because you have ballers, right?
I got enough info.
That's it. I know exactly, but that's what I'm saying is that it's not going to be their defense that beats the game. It's going to be a matter of your defense of getting 1 or 2 stops.
Yeah, and Thunder Buddies this year finishing 7-3, very respectable. D4 champs. We're going to have a long wait in the playoffs. Like when you're looking at the quarterfinal games, this is the only matchup where you have 2 teams that could make it to the finals in it, right?
Oh yeah.
Every other matchup is pretty much a great underdog going against a favorite, right?
Yes, yeah.
This game, it's a close one. It's the closest quarterfinal matchup, and the winner's going to have a long road to the playoffs. They're going to have to win this game, and then probably have to play. The winner of this game is probably playing the Flamingos, right, in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And then they're going to play Pan National Raw Sauce in the finals. So that's a hard schedule to defend our crown for.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
I didn't want it any other way either, though. So.
No, but that's it. You don't want a free ride, right? Like, you want to play the best to be, like...
You have to beat the best to be the best, right?
Exactly. Like, you don't want to go and play, I don't even know who the bottom teams are. You don't want to play Airborne in the finals, right?
No,
Airborne...
That'd be hard. That'd be hard for them to make it in the finals.
Well, let's just say, okay, whoever makes it, they're free range to the finals.
Anything else you want to add for Division 4 before we move on?
No, I think I'm good.
All right.
No.
So last but not least, let's go with Division 5. Before we get into the predictions, we had the Hall of Fame game. We had the best 3-man crew reffing that game. It was John, myself, and Steve on that game. It was Spin Doctors and Phoenix, the rematch of the previous game where you destroyed them. And Raph had the last word, sending a message before the playoffs.
All right.
All right, that's all you got to say?
I have no issues with that.
You have no issues with that?
I spoke with Rob on the way home, and Rob's like, oh, you should have forfeited the game because, now we feel that we could beat you guys, this and that.
Oh, they knew they could beat you even before playing that game. Raph played lights out.
That's what he thinks.
20 for 32, 234 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2 one-point converts. You also didn't play too bad yourself.
I went out
for almost 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, but those 3 interceptions cost you.
One of them, the one that Steve made near the second half. It
wasn't your fault, eh?
Oh, 100%. I threw the ball. It was a good ball I threw. I just didn't think Steve was going to be able to get back there. Okay. 100%. I'm not getting anything. Steve's a great player. Steve picked me off. The first one Steve got on me was a lucky one. Went off my receiver's hands. Can't blame anybody. It was a bad ball that I threw. Still hit the receiver in the hands, but it is what it is. But all season, everyone says I can't throw deep. I can't do this. I can't do that. So I have to go out and prove that I can. Right? That's it.
Yeah.
To me, this game meant nothing. I was joking all week. I'm going to forfeit the game. It means nothing. It doesn't matter.
You weren't joking. You were pretty serious. You actually thought about doing it for real.
No, I was just... Yeah,
only... No, you thought about doing it for real.
100%. I thought about it, but I had 10 guys that were going to show
Also,
up.
I think this game is important for you because you needed to secure that QB of the Year award, and I think it slipped through your hands.
I spoke to Raph. He doesn't think he deserves it.
Why does he not think he deserves it?
Because... he doesn't think that he should be throwing in Div 5.
Okay, so he doesn't think it's fair to give it to him. But based on the season he had, does not mean he doesn't think he's the one that should get it.
But realistically...
the same way it's like, okay, well, Dom shouldn't get it in D2 because he shouldn't be throwing in D2 kind of thing. We said we're not going to...
Yes, but Dom isn't a Hall of Famer that you guys have brought up multiple times.
Yeah, Raph is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Raph's way better than Dom.
No fucking way. No fucking way. I'll take Dom any day of the week over Raph. And I'm sure
Dom with his left hand or
Dom throwing it with nubs. Okay? Realistically, because Dom will just run.
Yeah, I'm surprised you threw 16 interceptions this year because
I looked at it, right? 2 games I threw 4 picks. We lost both those games. Right? This game I threw 3. So that's 11 picks in 3 games.
Yeah, and you lost all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So the formula for victory, eh?
Yeah. No, but this is it. Right? I'm not worried.
As much as you don't have like the physique and like the physical skills of a quarterback, you have the mind.
Yeah.
You've played in Steve's offense a long time. You know what you got to do in lower divisions to win games.
You saw me play in the beginning of the year where I literally just stood there.
Yeah,
right? But then what did I do this game when I wanted to throw the ball deep?
You started rolling out a little bit.
Yeah, but when I wanted to throw deep, I turned my hips, got my hips into it, and threw the ball. Right? So realistically, I even said to Nick, I go, everyone thinks I can't throw deep. Now, I proved that I can throw deep. consistently. Maybe not 100% consistently, but it's coming out good 75% of the time. So now you can't just expect for me to throw 2-yard pass.
All right, so that's enough talking about the Hall of Fame game where Ralph Alduin won the QB of the Year award. Let's go into the previews. We'll start with Spin Doctors and Gold Rush. Both teams finished 6-4. It'll be interesting to see if Gold Rush get Travis back.
He is back.
Okay,
He's
heart and soul of the team,
Tuesday.
right?
Yeah, and they beat them twice in the season.
Gold Rush beat them twice, but both games were pretty early in the season, I think.
No, I think they were recent,
One was early, one was week 2, and then the second one was week 6.
Yeah.
And that was a much closer game. It was 26-22 final score. Ralph threw a couple of interceptions in that game to 3 different players on the Gold Rush. I see Gold Rush had a couple of subs in that game also. So it'll be interesting to see who the roster is, because it's been a couple of weeks now they've been running for subs, right?
Yeah, well, that's the issue with the lower divisions, right? Teams will get out of it, or they're like, it doesn't matter.
Who do you see winning this game?
Realistically, Spin Doctors should win this game.
Who do you rather win this game?
Realistically, I want to play Gold Rush because I haven't played them.
And do you think you have a better chance against them?
I'm not counting. I think either way, it's going to be a good game. But if I don't get to play Gold Rush, right?
Well, you played them. You didn't play them with Travis.
Exactly. And it makes a big difference, right? Like, we won both our games against them, but we played their team the first time with 4 players, and then we played them last week or 2 weeks ago.
What happened with the rushing yard? You're supposed to finish first.
I stopped rushing. I got hurt.
I thought you wanted them to beat my record.
Yeah, I was going to, but then I got hurt 2 weeks ago when we played late last calls.
How'd you get hurt?
I got hurt in my Div 2 game. I popped a hernia.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I couldn't throw. I had an ice pack in my pants.
Did you put it back in?
What? No, I haven't gone to get it fixed, but I tore something. So I had an ice pack in my pants underneath my belt, so I was playing like that.
We don't need the details.
But realistically, to tell you the truth, either one of those teams will be a good matchup.
Agreed.
To play in the finals.
Looking at the 4 teams that made the playoffs, all 4 teams are good.
Yes, 100%.
I know you think your team is above and beyond everyone else, but
I don't
think the last calls could give you a hard.
I don't think that my team is above everyone else's. I think everyone else thinks my team is above everyone else's.
So you against last calls.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a tough game, right?
It should be, yes.
Last calls pulling it together. The last couple of games, I know in your mind they got a couple of illegal subs there, here and there, but this team is learning the game of flag football, and they're betting on their top dogs, right?
Yes.
Sebastien could be an MVP in the season, balling out on both sides of the ball.
100%.
And he might be one of the best players in this division, right?
Oh.
And when you have that best player on your team, you always have a chance to win.
have him. To me, I put him as my MVP favorite.
So
when we played them in week 3 or 4.
What's the stress level on 10?
What?
What's the stress level on 10?
I'm not worried to play them.
0?
I mean, it's a game.
Is it in the bag? Like the championship of Phoenix 55 champs?
No, it's not in the bag.
Should we make the post from now? Or?
Not yet. But realistically, I'm not worried because I know that we can match up with them.
Yeah.
I know I have personnel that can do it. And we played them in week 3 or 4, whatever it was. And we beat them. And I expected to go into the last game and employ the same strategy. They switched it up a bit. They had a sub. We went in relaxed. It's not happening. It's playoffs. I already told Vince. I'm not playing D5 Vince. I need D1 Vince. Okay? I need you to stop letting guys catch the ball. I need you to blow some people up. Pick the ball up. Don't try and drop an interception when it's in your hands.
Unless it's 4th down.
Oh. Because there's a chance that he returns it.
Yeah, but let's say it's midfield and you get intercepts in the end zone.
Oh yeah, of course. But
only Marvin picks those off.
Yeah, but we're talking about Marvin. All he cares about is his stats.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's anything else you want to add for D5?
No, I think any one of those 4 teams could easily win the championship. I think realistically, the one team, if Travis isn't there, Gold Rush has no chance.
Agreed.
Right? Spin Doctors, they're a good, solid team from top to bottom. Who shows up for them?
If they have the team that showed up this past Saturday
they're missing
against
2 players.
Good players? Or?
No.
Okay.
Right? So it makes, when you have a full roster and they're playing other teams that don't, it makes a big difference depending on who you're missing.
Yeah, agreed with that.
I'll go 7. Give me 7 players any day of the week, then 9 or 10 players.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an ass.
You're not?
I am an ass, but I'm not really an ass.
Okay.
I like to
stop talking about your ass. I think that's it for most of the divisions. You have anything else you want to say globally? Regarding our picks, forgot to mention, I'm the champ.
I forgot the crown too. I had a crown and a scepter.
I was supposed
for
to
the
wear
guy.
a crown for this, but Kevin forgot it.
I was in a rush. I had to bring some bottles.
Yeah, bottles over crowns all day of the week. It will give me a run for my money. Overall, you'll see it in the article that we're going to post. We'll put the final standings up there. I won by 2 picks. So thank you to everyone who gave me the insights and everything. Appreciate you all. Kevin was last. Like, Kevin, when you were making the picks before we started doing the picks all together,
I was good. I was 75% or more.
That's what you say you were, but no one was verifying your picks.
You could look back. Go back and look at the past article.
I was 75% this year. You barely made 70, right? You
I made
finished
67%.
Yeah, that's horrible.
You don't know why? It's because of you guys.
That was horrible.
You guys read my article and
Even
were like,
John was
"Fuck you."
over 70.
I know,
and John just know like 3/4 of the players in his league.
If I didn't live on the bottom floor of my place, I would have jumped out the window. You know, but, you know, not going to do much from the first floor.
Let's do something interesting. Pick a number between 100 and 1,000.
100 and 1,000?
Pick a number between 100 and 1,000.
724.
724. If this video gets 724 likes, you got to shave your beard, and I'll donate the pot that I won to a charity.
No, that's not happening. The wife likes it.
The wife likes it. It'll grow back.
I know, but I haven't shaved since fucking...
But if we get 700 likes, do it for the MFL.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, it wasn't for you. It was more for the show,
I know,
for the video to get the likes.
Well, let's see. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
I'll even... If I'm going to do it...
Okay, if we get 100 likes, you'll trim it.
No.
You'll cut
I'm
half.
trimming it anyways.
Half the length?
No, I'm trimming it to shape it up. I just had to let it grow to a good length. But my daughters like it because they can braid it, so I can have like 2 spikes.
You don't find you look a little homeless?
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah?
I went.
Oh, you're gonna start going next to the metros downtown.
Exactly. Football season's gonna end eventually, right? I gotta get some side hustle. Realistically,
make sure you wear a shirt when people come give you some money.
I went visited my cousin, my sister, and my nephew, who's 2 years old, calls me Santa, and he was mad.
Santa's a little more white in the beard, not gray and like yellowish.
That's it, Terry. Right? And he wouldn't let anyone make fun of me because I was Santa, and then he asked for Christmas presents in July.
All right. It was a pleasure having you on. I thought the show would last many more hours. You spoke all right, and a couple of weeks that people were missing. Will was missing that people, so Will will be finally back on next week, and he should be back for a while. We'll see if the public rathered Kevin, Jaff, John. Maybe put a poll up for them to vote who was the best
We
guest.
should do that and see.
Yeah?
What's the
It
worst going to happen?
sucked for the person that gets the least votes.
Oh, it's for sure going to be Will. For sure.
All right, any final words?
Yeah, so if you've tuned into the podcast, you've noticed I've wore 5 jerseys, right? In the comment section, please tell me what team and what player it is, and when we do our barbecue to start the fall season, free food and beer on me.
So in case you guys didn't understand what Kevin just said, the ones that were watching, he wore 5 different colored jerseys for each division, and there's a reason why he wore that color for each division. You want to say why?
No.
Okay. And so guess the player and the team jersey on the jersey, and you'll get free food, free booze all day, week 1 of the fall season.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Kevin.
No problem.
We'll
Thanks
see
for
all you
having
guys on Saturday. Make sure you bring the A game. It's the playoffs. Everyone's 0-0. Bring it.
Yeah, if you don't, you're going home.